watching MVBN, the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our first broadcast of the 2023-2024 season of Sports for Supper. I'm Jared Lucky here again with co-host Maury Stein, and we have a new addition this year. Marcus Fuentes is going to be joining us this year. Marcus, thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
And you're going to be doing volleyball this year, right? The play-by-play. I know Dwayne's not going to be doing it this year, so he's going to fill in for Dwayne, take that spot.
Yes.
And he'll be helping us out whenever he can. Especially, I think Friday night you're going to be in the press box with us for the football game, first game of the year. But another season. Looking forward to another season. We are going to have the athletic director with us tonight, and we are going to interview him, and we can just jump into that right now. Mr. Bull, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
And if you will, that you're going to have to talk right into that, or it won't pick you up good. So you came here in the middle of last season, correct?
I got here the second week in February. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so you were not on our show last year. So this is the first time you've been here. If you could tell our listeners maybe a little bit about your background, where you came from, and how you got here to Medina Valley.
Well, how much time we got?
No,
for the last 3.5 years, I was the assistant athletic director for Corpus Christi Independent School District. So we had 6 high schools, 11 middle schools. So I was actively engaged in learning how to run a larger district, as well as dealing with growth, building new facilities, building new high schools, while still improving and making sure that we're taking care of our coaches and the kids' needs, that they have the opportunity to be successful.
And so tell us a little bit about you've come here now, and obviously this school district is growing immensely, something you just touched on, what you were doing there. What are you seeing, or are there any new programs this year in Medina Valley Athletics, anything that's being expanded upon? What's kind of the state there?
Not so much expanded upon. The biggest thing that we're seeing is an increase in participation. So when you start looking at cross country, tennis, football, the ones that are going on right now, because those are the ones that we can see now, our numbers have gone up, significantly from last year. So we're having to move kids and change locker rooms and accommodate for the space because of the energy that we've got and that we're growing, and the culture that we're creating is getting more kids to gravitate to athletics, and we can see that just in the programs that we're running right now.
Yeah, was a big group of young men down there the last 2 weekends, or last 2 weeks for football, more than there ever has been. And I know you'd mentioned cross country and tennis, and Coach Bermea's doing a great job with cross country, and I think that's why the participation is up, because the success that those two sports have had in recent years, because we've had the tennis on every year, and Coach Bermea with cross country, and they are putting out district championships after district championships, and hopefully to see all those football players out there, that it'll transpire into changing into that direction with the football team also, because from what I've seen just the last 2 scrimmages, it looks very promising.
Yes, it does. And again, I think that goes back to, it starts with the people that you have in charge, because we expect our coaches to be the thermostats, not the thermometers. They're going to make sure that they're bringing the energy every day. Coach Britt will be the first to tell you, we're going to coach your kids hard, but we're going to love them. And that's the mentality that we're trying to generate across all of our sports. We're excited, we're passionate about what we're doing, but at the end of the day, we're still going to do what's best for our kids. And that's the guiding question that I've posed to all of our head coaches is, when I watch what's going on in practice, when I watch what's going on, during a game, that's the only question that that's the biggest question, I guess, that I'm going to ask myself. I'm not going to ask, why didn't you throw more screens? It's going to be more of, is this what we're doing? Is this what's best for our kids? Is this what's best for the program? Is this what's best for Medina Valley? And if it's not, then let's reevaluate what we're doing. And if it is, then by all means, let's go.
I know that, we haven't had the superintendent on here yet, and we usually do at least once a year to have him on here and talk. He was on here last year. They've talked about at some point, doing that kind of thing. How are you preparing for that already? Like what kind of planning is going into the athletic department already now?
A lot of it's systems.
Okay.
Because right now we're looking at a lot of the ways that language regardless of what campus we're on. So the paperwork that's coming into our office, how we're processing things, the expectations on each campus, all has to be uniform. The other thing is making sure that, because when we open high school 2 and 26, I'll leave, right now I'm on campus, so I'll leave the campus, and then Coach Britt and Coach Griggs will be the athletic coordinators, and they'll serve basically as the athletic directors on campus.
Okay.
For their high school and their feeder. So a lot of that is making sure that, everyone is aware of what the responsibilities are and making sure that it's a seamless transition.
Wow, that's great. And one thing Coach Bull, I can call you Coach even though you're still a coach as far
since
as
'94, yes, sir.
This is the first time in years that the athletic director hasn't been the football head coach also. So you can look at it from a different standpoint with everything and focus, like you said, on all different sports. Even with football going on, you can still do other things. And I think that's a plus for Medina Valley to have somebody that can oversee anything that's not going to, during football season, have to worry about football and do something else. And I think that's a step in the right direction for Medina Valley.
Absolutely. And I think because of the growth, it was inevitable that this was going to happen. Yeah. Just because when high school number 2 coming on in 3 years, you've got to have that, decentralized command situation where it's somebody who's not having to worry about their coaching responsibilities. Because I know what this job entails, especially with the construction process. I'm in meetings constantly with engineers, with architects, with the senior leadership team, making sure we're all on the same page, pulling the rope in the same direction, assessing the facilities, making sure that nothing is being left out. So we're making sure that our athletes are taken care of.
A while ago, not worry about having athletic director duties on top of coaching football. He can focus on his team and do what he needs to do there during the season.
Absolutely.
Marcus, anything? You got anything?
I don't have nothing as of yet.
So you came from Corpus Christi IC, so that was part of the Veterans Memorial that played us in the playoffs last year.
Yes,
and all that kind of stuff. And you were still there then during that time, right?
Yes, sir. Actually, that was the first time I met Dr. Kalos and Mr.
Okay.
Lange and Coach Weeks. They were on the sideline when I went over to see who was standing down there.
That was an awesome facility,
yes,
too, at that stadium, yeah. we got in the press box, and they, the blinds had the automatic things that go up, and you could hear the speaker in there. You turn the volume up. I was like, wow. For a high school stadium, you were in, that's first class for a high school stadium.
Absolutely.
So, yep. What else, Maury? You got anything else?
Not at the present.
No, I know. Are there still, so are they still doing like swimming and some of that stuff that has come in over the last, 2 or 3 years?
Yes.
That's something that
We've had some turnover and from a coaching standpoint. Some of it was later in the year, but we went out and made sure we had a quality candidate to come in and take over that program. And she's new to Medina Valley, but she's excited and she's ready to go.
Because I know, talking to some of the coaches here that we've seen over the years, it's amazing. Like, I went to Medina Valley. We all went to Medina Valley. It's amazing the programs that are there now that weren't available when we were in school. Soccer wasn't a thing when I was there.
Right.
And I know the soccer programs have actually been pretty good the last few years.
Yeah.
They've gone into the playoffs. So
2 rounds last year.
Yeah. So, those are all things to look at, and it's not just football, baseball, and basketball anymore. You have all these different things that Medina Valley offers.
Right, and to touch on the swimming, that's not possible. We've gone into a joint agreement with the city for that. So they've gone in and made sure that they put in heaters into the pool. So we start competition in November, and then state is right there at the end of January, first part of February. So because the city's worked with us and taken steps to accommodate our kids, with the heating of the pool, so we're able to use that all winter. Able to send a girl to state last year, so
Wow.
That's not something that we were able to do with just Medina Valley ISD. That was a group effort with the city.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's not like you can go swim in the river now because there's no water in that to swim in either. So
No.
thank the city of Cassville for working out that aspect. Did I hear right? Is there going to be water polo? Or
It's possible.
okay, I just
Really?
I had heard that.
UIL's added it as a sport.
Okay.
There's some other logistics that come into play with that as well. Coaching is one of them. Facilities is another.
That's what the facilities. Yeah,
Obviously, we have a group of young students who are interested in it and want to compete in it. But at the same time, we want to make sure that when we do it right. So we want to make sure that we've got all of our logistical side of it taken care of before we introduce it. And then we'll take that to the school board and the UIL to make sure that when we're ready to go, we'll move forward. But yes, we will have it eventually.
Well, that's really cool.
I
yeah.
heard about that.
I would have never have thought that. But, yep. You guys got anything else? I think we've touched on just about everything.
Ticket process. Talk to the people about the ticket process.
Oh.
What about the ticket process this
The
year?
season tickets were only online, sold online, and QR code is, what is the gate process? You have to know that.
There will only be online ticketing
Okay.
this year, so there won't be any cash at the gate. We'll have QR codes set up all around the facility to take care of anybody who hasn't purchased online already. A couple of the other things that we did this year is we created season passes for all of our sports. So for volleyball, for example, there's 10 home games, and instead of going online and paying 10 different processing fees, you can go online and buy a season pass, all 10 games, and then you only have to pay that fee once, and then that ticket is on your phone and gets you into every game. We're doing the same thing with student passes, that from the athletic passes. Those are all online as well because they all run around with their phone. They don't get passed through a gate or lost or anything else because you're getting them by email. So plus it gives us a better accountability of the numbers that are in the stadium because everybody that comes in will get scanned so we can actually give accurate numbers when we start doing the reporting of how many people were at the game, how many were students, how many were reserve tickets, how many were season passes. It just gives us a bigger picture and a scope to look at, the state of the athletic department and who's coming to our games.
And that's going to be in every sport?
That's every sport,
Every
yes,
sport.
sir.
Okay. Wow, that's something. At least you don't have to deal with money and giving out change and
Which is
things like that.
auditors
Which
like
makes it
that,
easier.
accounting department likes that.
Well, and I think it's like you said, it's a good idea of
That updates, I would imagine, immediately, live,
it does.
real time,
Yes.
just updates as soon as they scan it, so instead of having to go count ticket stubs or whatever. So yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
And it enables, transparency is a big word, but it enables us to have that because it's right there on all of our reports, and it's just one report, and it's generated from actual numbers that's coming from hometown ticketing.
And also, when this is the same for the visiting
Yes.
crowd, will have they scan the same process,
yes,
correct?
absolutely. Just on the visitor side.
and when they buy, like if they want to buy tickets in advance, they have to do it
They have
through
to go
their
online.
school and online.
They'll come to
through
Medina
Medina
Valley's
Valley. Okay,
website to do that.
okay,
Just like when we go to their schools, it's the same situation. We're at Bernie on Tuesday. Parents had to go online and purchase those tickets online.
through Bernie. Okay, so that's something we can tell people,
Absolutely.
during games and stuff for away games that they need to purchase them through. John Jay for next week's away game, I guess.
It's
Right.
been done like that since COVID. A lot of schools started doing it during COVID.
And-
Touchless.
Yes, and we're in that process of we're getting ready to roll out a new website for the athletic department that's embedded into the Medina Valley ISD. Be a little more user-friendly and provide a lot more information, including ticket links. The goal is to try and get a one-stop shop. You know, when you go online and start looking, it's a lot of the questions that community members are asking, you know, we should be able to find those on our website. So we're trying to create a more user-friendly platform that we're working off of to answer a lot of those questions.
So that just means that I'm going to have to trade in my Gold Star bag phone and get me one of them new phones that
Just
they
one
got
that flips.
now? Yeah, okay. That Nokia, that black one just won't work, I guess.
My dad still has a flip phone.
I
I'm not kidding. He still has one.
Flip phones are out again.
He refuses to text anybody, too.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, Coach, thank you for joining us.
No, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here.
We appreciate you being on, and we look forward to the seasons, to the school year.
And during the year, if you are at one of the games and want to come in and shot with us a couple times, football, basketball, baseball, softball,
Even volleyball. I'll be
feel free. You're always welcome.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we will come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, brought to you by Dotson's House Moving, and we will continue in just a moment.
Dotson House Moving and Construction is a fourth-generation company operated by the same family for over 75 years. We do turnkey work from moving your structure, setting the foundation, and all your construction needs. Aluminum decking, concrete work, canopies, and any other need to make your project operational. From moving to construction, large or small, Dotson House Moving and Construction does it all. Located at 12939 Southwest Loop 410 in San Antonio. Give us a call at 210-628-1459.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacations. To you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacation.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you. Sammy's Restaurant and Habeas Alsatian Bakery, two legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Habeas Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Habeas Alsatian Bakery, online at habeasbakery.com.
Bush's Chicken, one of the oldest locations in Castroville, is proud to serve the Medina Valley area. Bush's Chicken has one goal: be the best. Bush's Chicken knows its success comes from loyal customers in the communities they serve. Stop by Bush's Chicken on Tuesday and get the Tender Tuesday deal, or try their buffalo fries and ask about their Panther special. It's always a hit. Bush's Chicken, 935 Highway 90 East in Castroville. Call them at 830-538-2800.
Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tandre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notices.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper, first broadcast of the season. We went through all the sponsors, but I also want to mention that Bravo Country Homes is also a sponsor. We haven't gotten the commercial uploaded yet onto the system, but they're a sponsor, and they'll have a commercial on here next week. And so, I think it's the Bame Ranch is what they're advertising for out there. Is
If
what
you don't know where that's at, that's right
behind the golf course. Yep. And we are going to move on to, we have the cross-country team here with us, and we have Coach Bermea and Coach Schott. Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks for having us. Yes.
Yep, and it's always nice to have y'all on here because y'all's programs have been going really strong for the last, 3 or 4, 5 years. And
because they're under good leadership.
And so tell us a little bit about, this year's team. As opposed to, did you lose some players? What do you have?
Yeah, this year,
there's some runners.
Years past, we're pretty young on both sides. I think the boys graduated 5 out of the top 7 runners, so we've had to fill some voids. But we always had JV kids that have been doing their due diligence and doing their work, and it's their time to kind of step in. As historically here at Medina Valley with our program, we have quite a few freshmen that are round out that team. Right now, I think we have 3 or 4 freshmen running that top 10 group, so we're excited about that, boys and girls alike. So it's just a good thing, a good problem to have when your team is that young. So it just lets us know that the years to come can be very promising here at Medina Valley.
How many kids did y'all have come out for cross country this year?
On paper, I think we had 80 plus right now running every day, probably 65. Coach Schott, does that sound right?
I think it's more like 110, 85.
Yeah.
Wow.
You change your mind after a few weeks, but I mean we have
quite a few kids. We're very fortunate that we have good numbers.
Is that constant, or is that up from last year, or is that usually the average? Or
it's increased since last year.
Wow. Well, that's the success of
we're
people want to be part of a winner. Tell
them to go run 3 miles when it's 110.
Yes.
We won't want to do that.
We have strong middle school programs that keep giving us kids.
The ones that are out there doing it are the ones you want anyways.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's true. So have y'all had, when is y'all's first meet?
We ran last week at Floresville.
Okay.
It was some pretty good success. The way that meets are kind of rolling out these days is they'll run a big division, big school, which is like 5A and 6A. So all our kids ran there as far as the varsity teams. And varsity boys were 5th place in a very, very competitive corral of kids, if you will. And the girls were 4th place. JV girls were 3rd, and the JV boys were 2nd. So it looks very promising for this season.
There's one, and I don't want you to step on anybody, but is there one that's stronger than the other? Is there more from the girls that have an opportunity, or is there more from our boys, or is it kind of even? Which is your strongest team right now?
What do you think, Coach Schott? What kind of venture say with it?
I think it's any given day.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I think it's any given day how they bond as teammates. Who shows up. Right now we talk a lot about the little things because we demand a lot from our athletes. I mean, it's not just the 3 miles and the 110 degrees. We ask them to rate to track their mileage. Every day they have to journal. They have to track their hydration, their nutrition, how they're feeling. They rate their workouts. I mean, we keep them it's very intense, and it's just the little things. Who's doing the little things? Because in cross country, anybody can run. Oprah ran a marathon. It was that old George Carlin, stand up. Anybody can run. That's not a sport, and it's the little things that separate you. Because it's true. We can all go out and run, but it's how far you can run fast, and it takes a lot of mental game and a lot of your heart. And so that that journaling is how we can do this. We figured it out. That's how we can coach the mind and the heart, and how they bond together. This group of kids has some incredible leadership, and we're very proud of that. There have been kids that have been with our program for many, many years, since middle school, and they're talented, and they show that passion and lead the others. And so I think on any given day, we both firmly feel that they could be state contenders in these sports, and our sports are tough because they only have that one opportunity. It's not like, by district or, it's not like district season games or whatever. They only have one opportunity. And on October 12th, we'll run district. A few weeks later, I think the 23rd, 24th, we'll go to Corpus and we'll run regionals. And
That's not far off.
It's really intense. It's an intense season. And it's that one race. So it's a lot of pressure. And so the mind, heart, and body have to work magically together, and those kids have to work well together. And so it's tough. But I don't know.
So that, I know we talked about this before, they're having regionals in Corpus again. Like, that seems to be an all-the-time occurrence these days, and that's a tough climate to run in, right? Yeah.
We try to do the best. With the climate these days in this area, it's not tough to kind of try and mimic that. But they do have like a preseason meet called the Islander Splash, which is mid-September.
Okay.
We'll take our kids down there. We'll treat that like a pre-region meet for us. We'll make it an overnight trip. Try to get the kids locked in mentally, making sure they understand it's a work trip. So we're there to work, and it's business, not just the leisure of running. So like Coach Schott said, it's just coaching the whole aspect of the kid and getting them to understand that, hey, we put all the work in during the week, and on the weekend we've got to work just the same.
How many meets do y'all have throughout the season before district?
We'll run 8 meets and then move into our district.
And y'all have a meet at Medina Valley this year?
Yes, we're hosting this Saturday actually, and that meet's kind of grown, and it's we're fortunate it's very successful. Right now, as of about an hour ago, we're about 1,600 runners signed up.
Wow.
From 7th grade all the way to varsity. So we anticipate a good turnout. Very competitive. Some of the top runners in the region will be there, and it's fun to see that lots of people want to come run at Medina Valley, and not just that, but run our kids.
What time does that start?
We'll start our first race at 7. Well, we'll do a 7 o'clock community race, so any kid that wants to come out, we ask them to come out. We'll put them on like a 600-meter course just to continue to build that relationship with the community, let the kids know that, hey, running's fun, and it's fun to compete. So we do a 7 o'clock race with the community kids, and that'll pretty much be kindergarten kids all the way up to 6th graders. And then we will come back and start at 7:30 with our first big school race, which is the 5 and 6A girls.
Okay. Wow.
So the girls don't run the same time with the boys?
No, sir. It's all individual divisions. So it'll be a girls race, big school, followed by the boys.
And they clear the course completely before they'll start the boys and stuff?
Yeah,
okay.
Cross-country lends itself. They do give a lot of liberties and be able to move as spectators as long as you're not impeding runners or getting in the way of what's going on out there. So if you want to come watch, come out, bring your running shoes. You'll put your mileage in too.
You have to run cross country to watch it.
I'm good with that.
He's good with that.
I'll wait. I'll wait at the finish line.
Every time, Lacey, every time your sister sees my parents, she tells them that I'm nuts. Because she's like, why does he run when it's 110? Because I run at 5:30 in the evening because it's the only time I can.
Yeah, we've seen you out here, I think, by the high school occasion. Is that you?
No, that's not me. No, I run in town here.
Okay.
But every time she sees them, she's like, Jared's crazy. I'm like, well, yeah.
Just getting it in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fun time.
Mind over matter.
Yeah.
It's very much the case. We tell our kids it's very much the case.
It takes a different frame of mind to do that. People don't, it's like you said, it's not just running. It's getting yourself focused mentally. It's not, okay, I'm just going to see how fast I can run from here to the cash register up there and come back. It's pace yourself, but you got to go fast.
Well, and you run through injuries. I mean, you will have aches and pains and hurts, and you start and you're a mile into your run and you start hurting, and it's like, what do I do here? It starts messing with your mind.
Absolutely. We tell them that your mind's going to give you a million reasons why you should let up, but you got to find that one reason to continue to push. And whether it be the pack running and running for your brothers or sisters on your team, or just maybe, whatever you find, you just got to find that one reason to continue on. We have great kids. We know all Medina Valley athletes are great kiddos. We're very biased and know that our kids are just a different caliber of kid.
And they can move on to regionals and state team-wise and individual-wise?
Yes, coming out of district, they'll qualify 3 teams and the top 10 individual runners. So if you tied your team or not, you still get to qualify. And then going into regions, a little bit different. We'll do the top 10 kids not tied to a team and the top 4 teams. So it gets a little more math involved as you get to that stage of the game.
Wow.
And how do they score? Like, how do you win as a team?
Very simply, just compare it to golf. You can run 7 in your district meet. You score the top 5. The closer to 0, the better the score.
Okay.
So if you get first place, it's 1 point. Second place, third place.
And you want it low.
45th place, you get the smallest score.
I got you.
So it's Well, I was going to say it's time, but I guess that's the same thing as.
So they'll score 5, and if there's a tie, it goes to the 6th runner. And if you don't have a 6th runner, and we do,
Yes.
we win. And if our 6th runner
Oh.
57th, then their 6th runner.
So if they only bring 5 and you tie and y'all have 6 runners, then y'all automatically go on. Wow.
Well, was it last year we had that situation
We had
with the varsity
exact-
girls? They came down to the 6th
They
place
tied
runner.
at districts.
We both had
Wow.
6 runners on the roster, but ours outran their number 6. So
How
the
close
district
was the 6th?
championships tie.
How close was the
it
6th
was an
spot?
exciting day. I don't even remember. We knew we.
I don't
we
think they
edged
had
it
a
out, and
6th
Coach Shaw
runner.
said, I thought they did.
I
but
think
it was
no, they
closer.
did. Yeah, they did. They did. We beat them.
So
Wow.
yeah, that's what you said. You got to run not only for yourself. If you do have a couple of aches and pains, you got to run for your team. Wow.
Because that could be the difference between moving on and not.
And every
Yeah,
person you pass is points for your team, kind of in reverse.
that makes sense.
So all the time we're
So-
trying to teach these kids that whether you're number 1 or number 5 on the team, 6 or 7, you still serve a purpose and have a role. So it's very indicative of what life is. Everybody's got a role, and they just got to make sure they do their job on that day.
Got to be a strong link of the chain.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Do a lot of y'all's runners run long distance and track too?
Yeah, we usually take about maybe work out 40 to 50 kids on a daily. Track's a little bit different animal in the sense that they don't all transition over because kids just naturally know that they don't like running the laps around the track,
Right.
or we're not given the liberty of having multiple runners, more than 3. We get 3 in each event, so there's some kids that just won't make that transition. But most of our kids are running as much as they can, but we're still working towards what we call a 365 runner, kids that'll just run every day.
Every day.
And that's what it takes to be the best in the state, is just making sure you're
That's what they're running against.
Yeah.
they're touching the pavement every
Yeah.
day. So
No matter what. Yep.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, and y'all brought some of your runners with you,
yes,
correct?
we have
We're going to
two
talk
boys,
to some of them.
Seniors, and we have a senior girl, and then a sophomore girl and a freshman girl. So
Y'all got anything else before we move to the athletes? No. Thank you all for joining us. Good luck
Absolutely.
this year,
thanks for
and
having us always.
yeah, and we look forward to hearing what they do later on in the year. And we're going to go ahead and take a break and then come back with the runners themselves. And you're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue in a moment.
Dodson House Moving and Construction is a 4th-generation company operated by the same family for over 75 years. We do turnkey work from moving your structure, setting the foundation, and all your construction needs. Aluminum decking, concrete work, canopies, and any other need to make your project operational. From moving to construction, large or small, Dodson House Moving and Construction does it all. Located at 12939 Southwest Loop 410 in San Antonio. Give us a call at 210-628-1459.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacation.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you. Sammy's Restaurant and Havy's Alsatian Bakery, 2 legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Havy's Alsatian Bakery a must to visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Havy's Alsatian Bakery, online at havysbakery.com.
Bush's Chicken, one of the oldest locations in Castroville, is proud to serve the Medina Valley area. Bush's Chicken has one goal: be the best. Bush's Chicken knows its success comes from loyal customers in the communities they serve. Stop by Bush's Chicken on Tuesday and get the Tender Tuesday deal, or try their buffalo fries and ask about their Panther special. It's always a hit. Bush's Chicken, 935 Highway 90 East in Castroville. Call them at 830-538-2800.
Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tandre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notices.
All right, welcome back to Sports for Supper, brought to you this year by Dotson's House Moving. And we have 5 cross-country athletes with us this evening. And we're gonna start on one end of our table and work our way down. And a couple of the first 2 you're going to hear from were here last year for the show, and if you'll tell us your name and your year in school, we'll start there, and then we'll go from that.
My name is Mark Castro, and I am a senior this year.
And tell us a little bit about, so you've been running with the program since you were a freshman, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about where you started as a freshman to where you are now as a senior, and what your expectations are for the year.
Well, whenever I came into cross country, I started running with them in the summer because we have summer training, and I was with, I believe, the best group of friends that I could ever find, because at that time I was with the seniors that were running at that time. So I was the only freshman on the team with them, because only 5 can score for the team. So I was their 5th place runner, and they sadly graduated without me because I just was new to the program. But they're the ones who taught me what I needed to continue on with them and their legacy and what they left behind. And that's basically what I've kept trying to teach the future runners and the new runners that came along with every year that passed.
Awesome. And go ahead, Maury.
Is there somebody that you're kind of mentoring now that reminds you of you when you were a freshman?
My brother Nicholas, because he's also a freshman right now, and I was always like telling people in school that whenever I was a senior, you're gonna have my brother because he'll be a freshman, and so I kind of like was building a path for him so that everyone knew that he would be my brother, and that like to expect good coming from him because of how I presented myself in school and in the sports that I played. So I'm trying to mentor him.
The coaches were up here talking a little bit about y'all having to log everything that y'all do, your miles, your nutrition, all that kind of stuff, yes. And the mental part of running. Tell us a little bit about how you've been able to, mentality-wise, keep running basically every day for 4 years, right?
Yes, sir.
So, like, how do you stay strong with that and keep going forward and competing at a high level?
Honestly, I don't know how we do it, because it's just something we just tell ourselves we have to do, because I'm not going to lie, every day I wake up and I think that I have to run, I always feel like, or I tell myself I want to quit. Running just hurts every part of your body, and we tell each other that we're crazy because we love to run, and it's true. We do love the sport. We do hate it at times, but we do it because we do it as a family together, and it has its moments where it's fun, and it has its moments where it gets serious and we need to lock down. But yes, we do log everything, and our mentality, it's always to get better, not get injured, and just strive to be great. And
so how do y'all, what's your biggest preparation when you have a meet coming up? Do y'all do so I'd assume that during practice y'all have your normal this is what we do on a weekly basis, routines you have here and there. But then do y'all kind of taper down as you have a meet coming up, or do y'all just keep going strong? Like, how do y'all prepare for a meet?
Well, we do taper down towards the end of our season when we're getting closer to district regionals. And before every race, some of us pray, and Coach Bermeo will give us like a pep talk, and some days he'll give like the greatest pep talks ever. Like, it's just so inspiring that I wish someone were recording it, because there are some times where he just inspires me a lot. And but it's mainly Coach Bermeo who will give us like a good talk before the race, and he'll just motivate us.
That's cool. What else, Maury? Do you run track?
Yes.
You run track also?
Yes.
And you got any plans for after high school?
I'm going to run cross country or track in college.
Awesome.
That's what I want to do.
Cool.
Any schools looking at you? You any interested in a certain school or?
I've been looking at a few schools. University of Dallas, Our Lady of the Lake University, and University of Incarnate Word.
Okay.
Those are the 3 that are on my list right now that
Awesome.
I'm looking at.
Good schools.
Good.
Yep. Well, good luck in the coming season, and we look forward to hearing about how you did, and we'll move on to the next young lady that's with us here.
Thank you.
No, we're not gonna do that. Move it on down. If you'll tell us your name and your year in school also.
My name is Jaslyn Garcia, and I am in 12th grade.
And so you've been running since you were a freshman here too, or no, you haven't.
No,
I remember
actually, I started track my sophomore year. I just wanted to get into running competitively, and also Coach Bermea convinced me to. As well as he did convince me to do cross country my junior year. So last year was my first ever year in cross. This year, my senior year is my second year. So I'm fairly new to the program still. I have not been here since I was a freshman.
But what's kept you from last year to this year? What kept you wanting to keep competing?
Honestly, I just love to run competitively. I love the way it feels whenever I win. I love all the hard work that I put into it, and what I get out is what I'm like, what I expect, and like I just do good. There are some hard days, but I mean I push past them as best as I can, and I keep going. It's also the sport that I love. It's my escape from reality, so that's what keeps me going.
What does a weekend contain of for a runner?
A weekend?
Yes.
So, well, like my weekend.
Your
or
weekend.
Like,
what would you, after school's over and you leave on a Friday and you don't have a meet the next day, what do you do on Saturday and Sunday to keep up your running regime? Do you have a schedule that you try to keep?
Yes. So Saturdays I usually do like more of my distance run. So like I would either go for like an 8 to 10 mile run. Sundays are like more relaxed. They're like my recovery runs, and then I hit back into it on Mondays or Sundays. Sometimes Sundays I just take off just to recover and rest.
You got to give your body a rest at some point.
Yeah.
So we've had one of the worst summers we've had in a long time. Tell me a little bit about y'all run in the morning more, right?
Yes.
I would imagine it's more humid in the mornings than the heat, but tell us about having to run in the climate this year.
So this year has been really hard running wise, only because like you said the humidity is horrible. The index of like the air is just thick, and it gets hard to breathe whenever I run. This summer I know that my pace was a little bit slower while running because of how humid it was, how hot it was getting so fast. Like by 9 o'clock it was already like in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just getting really slow, and I got mad at myself for it because like I just want to be faster, but I realized that it was the weather and how it affected me running wise.
Well, and the thing is, I guess in a competition, everyone's got to run in that, so they're kind of all in the same boat, I would imagine. But, I mean, so it's kind of, I work outside a lot, and I've always been like, it's pick your poison. You either want to do it in the humidity in the morning or in the heat in the afternoon when it's not humid. What would you rather do?
Honestly, I would rather do it in the heat in the afternoon. I like heat training more than I like running in the morning. Heat training, I feel like, makes me stronger. So I usually get in the heat maybe like 4 or 5 miles, and then that's how much I can do. But I do like running more in the afternoons.
What are your goals for this season?
This year, my goals, one of them is to sign for a college. The other one is to break 20, so like get under 20 minutes for my 5K. And then my last one is just to leave a legacy for the girls. I know that they really need like that leadership, and our team needs to have a bond. So I've been working on that a little bit more. Been creating like team dinners and like just been active on the group chat, just saying how everybody is, because not only do we like, yes, we compete as like a team, but we're also a family. Like, yes, it's an individual sport, but we're a family. We run together as a family. We train together as a family. And so like these girls are like my sisters. Like,
that's cool.
I guide them as much as I can.
How much time do you have to cut off from what you're running now to get under 20?
Maybe like, well, my PR last year was a 20:09. So if I run that again, 9 seconds. But this season, my fastest time has been a 20:47. So like 48, 49 seconds.
Well, hopefully by the time October comes, it won't be so humid and so hot. And
the hard work will pay off.
Yeah, exactly. Because I imagine, and this is kind of a question for all of y'all, when it's hot like that, do y'all notice that your heart rate gets higher quicker?
Yes.
And so it's harder to run because your heart's not making the oxygen as quickly as it should be. Yeah. So I would imagine it slows your times down, and I could see why that would get frustrating.
My time this past race at Floresville was not pretty. It was super hot. I passed out after the race, and my heart rate was just really high.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and y'all run in the mornings, right? Your meets are all in the mornings when it's super humid, so you're losing more from your body than what you normally would. So I would imagine it's really easy to get dehydrated.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So you mentioned wanting to sign with a college.
Yes.
So is there any that you're like looking at, or?
So I have had 3 to 4 colleges reach out to me, but they're all out of state. I'm not interested in going out of state because I want to stay like local where my family is. But I am interested in 3 colleges.
Okay.
One of them in San Antonio is Trinity University, and then both of them in Abilene, McMurray University and Hardin-Simmons University.
Cool. Well, good luck in the season, and good luck with that, and we'll see you down the road. And we'll move on to the next young lady. None of the next 3 have been here before with us. So if you'll tell us your name, you're in school.
My name is Felicity Agee, and I'm a sophomore this year.
And so did you run last year?
Yes,
also?
Sir.
And so when did you kind of start running distance? Like what age were you?
3.
3?
Yes, sir. I was in cross country since kindergarten, and I have been running since I was 3.
How did that happen?
My mother's a cross country coach.
Okay.
And she asked the doctor, hey, can I run my children? And he was like, go for it. So.
And you just fell in love with it and kept going. That's cool. What's kind of your goal for the season this year?
Same as Jazz, to break 20. That's a big goal for a lot of the girls.
Okay.
It's the next milestone for a lot of us. And just to make sure I still love it and enjoy it and want to do it for the rest of time.
How do you go about doing that? It's all a mentality thing, I would imagine.
Yes, sir. It's a lot of making sure you remember your why. Like, why am I doing this? And really connecting with the girls in the team, because they're the only ones who know what you're truly going through, because they're doing it with you.
Right.
So that's a big part of it, is we work a lot together and talk to each other, because, yeah, like Jess says, we're a family, and they know what you're going through.
What time do you think that either one of y'all that are part of the cross country team need to run to be the district champ? Would under 20 get you there, or would you have to do something better than that?
We would probably have to do something better than that.
The 1930s.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do.
No, sir. And you never know because girls are getting faster, and so we're looking out for their times as much as they're looking out for our times.
So like when y'all are running, that was one of the things I wanted to ask y'all is, are you looking more at times, or are you watching like, hey, I'm in this place, I can catch that person? Like, what are you thinking about while you're running?
All about your mentality. So some people work better with times. They need I got this split, I need this time. I consider myself a hunter, so I like to look at the places. And I'm like, okay. And I usually still, like, I want a time, obviously. If I'm in a huge race and I know I'm not going to place well, you're going for a time still. But it kind of depends on your mentality of how you look at it.
Yeah. No, it's that I'm not going to get beat by that person, or like I'm going to get that's next. It's kind of like a goal, like that person's next, and then just keep on picking them off,
Definitely
I would imagine.
A huge part of it.
Yeah.
On that aspect, earlier the coaches said a lot of metrics comes involved. You know, what you're eating, your times and all. I'm an older generation, and you only get a certain amount of meets to meet your time. Throughout practice, throughout the season, what technology are you using to track those times? Is it the iPhone? Is it the apps? Is it GPS?
Your watches.
Our watches are like mandatory. We do watch checks, and a lot of them track it, and we'll keep it logged for you. And mile split, always stalking mile split.
Gotcha.
Night before a race, you're going through your times, other people's times, and we also have journals that Coach Shaw organizes to write down our thoughts, times, goals, and so we use those a lot. So all the above.
Technology, that's one thing that has really come about these days, because when we're running, it was just the clock at the end of the
stopwatch.
Yeah, no, you didn't monitor your heart rate or any of that kind of stuff. You didn't know what your splits were as you were going, unless you had a stopwatch and did it yourself. And
so you can wear those during the meet?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. That's not just something you wear just when you practice. That's something you can monitor during the meet.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
That's cool.
That's where her hunter mentality comes to play, like, I am going to chase you down.
Yeah, because you can look at that and see, like, okay, this mile I'm at whatever,
I can look at my watch and see my cadence at that moment.
Yeah.
So it'll tell me, you're going a 7-minute pace, and I'll be like, ooh, too slow, or something.
And it also gives you your heart rate, your oxygen, and all. Oh, wow.
Technology.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do now. Well, good luck to you, and we'll probably see you hopefully in the years to come back here on the show.
Yes, sir.
And we'll move on to I think you're the only freshman here tonight, right? Yeah. So tell us your name, and she's a freshman, we know that, but.
Yeah, hi, I'm Risa Lowell.
And so, have you been running cross country before high school?
Yeah, I ran in middle school.
Okay, and so the first year on the high school team, what's changed? Like, what's the biggest difference?
Definitely with the workouts for sure, like a lot harder. And just like all the motivation, like the girls I'm surrounded by, and just like all the motivation and stuff. It's like a lot amped up from middle school for sure.
And so coming in as a freshman, what kind of goals do you set for yourself going forward this year?
For sure to break sub 20, and I mean honestly just to make it to state. That's like everyone's main goal. But yeah, just to be district champion for sure as a team. Yeah, just to break sub 20.
Are there, and this is kind of a question for all of y'all, are there people that run from other schools that you just know, like, that's the person that we need to beat? Like, you know everybody, and can you track, like, this is what they did at that meet, like, this is the time they ran at that meet?
On mile split, you can see, like, everything.
You really?
Yeah.
And y'all watch that, I would imagine, like a hawk?
Oh, yeah.
There's a Southwest Legacy girl because she was everybody's,
That's what you gauged yourself off of, like, that's, yeah, okay.
But I ended up beating her.
Yeah, I beat her, too.
Awesome. That's cool.
I like that
Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
No, you say sub 20. That's the goal. I mean, if all 5 of y'all that are the 5 best run sub 20. No, out of y'all girls that say y'all that's what your goal is. Will that get you to regionals? Will that get you to state?
For sure. Yeah.
We'll get to regionals probably, but you don't know about state.
Yeah, state is just crazy.
So what is the competition amongst yourselves?
Right here.
She beat me already.
Yeah, basically it's us three.
Well, so it's funny because we've got a senior, a sophomore, and a freshman all saying they want to run sub 20 as their goal. So you're seeing the younger are already faster, and I would imagine you're seeing that in all the schools across the state, across the country. And it's like, that's crazy that you think about, like, everybody's getting faster.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to, like, you're like, I can't be good with where I'm at. I constantly have to continue to be better because everyone else is. Like, that's insane to me.
What's hard for me to understand is you fix yourself on a diet to where, how do you push yourself away from all the good stuff that's
how do you stick with that? Like, because all of y'all have a diet y'all stick to, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
so how do you stick to that and not be like, well, I'm going to run it off,
I mean, I allow myself like one unhealthy thing a day, but then like meals and stuff are always healthy. But,
what do you consider unhealthy?
Anything like processed, like a bunch of added sugar, like that.
I gotta imagine none of y'all drink soda.
No.
None of y'all drink tea or anything like that. Drink tea, yeah. So, hydration-wise, is it water? Is it something else? That you're liquid IVs. What do y'all drink?
I love liquid IV, and I also drink a bunch of milk.
Really?
I love milk.
Milk, really?
Always at night, I have to drink a cup, like a glass. before I
Is
go to
it?
sleep.
That's we got one
I
person
love
here.
milk.
Just no.
Chocolate milk's the answer.
Just water, yeah.
Electrolyte.
Yeah, liquid IV is also really good.
Okay. And what do y'all do before a race? Is there any like?
Oh, I drink a Celsius every race.
Really?
Before every race.
Crazy track.
Coach Vermeer turned around like
I drink
no,
a Celsius.
because I would imagine energy drinks are like a no-no, right? For y'all, you're not supposed to do it. Because I've heard like that's like horrible for your heart. I used to do it. I did it before like Spartan races, and my wife was like, "You need to drink one of those." I was like, "I might die."
It's my race strategy.
It's all your person. Whatever.
Wow, that's cool. No, I mean, we each their own. Whatever makes you go.
If you drink a Red Bull, it gives you wings.
That is
You
true.
run quicker.
That is true.
So is there any kind of, I wouldn't imagine they do this in high
No.
school, but is there any kind of like they test you for like anything you're not supposed to take, or is there like rules against what you can't do?
I would imagine there's rules.
But they've never done that. Like,
State level, they
Probably. Maybe. We've never.
yeah.
Yeah.
first year this year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So let's hear it from someone else. What about running in this like humidity? Like she told us about it. Tell us about like your experience in it.
It's so bad, not gonna lie. It's honestly like at 7, if you start running at 7, it's not that bad. But like 7:30, it's bad. Like it just gets so hot so quick.
So what's worse, running in the heat like that, or running in that thin, cold air that like makes your lungs hurt?
Honestly, for me, just the heat is just so bad. But honestly, the cold, like your throat just gets like it hurts physically. So I'll take the heat for sure.
I can handle the cold.
You're
I'm
cold from a lot.
I like the cold.
Well, is it Corpus's humidity kind of like?
Oh.
It's kind of like what it is in the mornings here, yeah.
Ain't that preparing you?
It's horrible.
This horrible year is
No.
preparing you for.
So I'll tell y'all something. I'd never run at the coast before, and we went to South Padre about a month ago, and I ran down there, and my entire shirt, shorts, everything was soaked when I got done. Like, I mean, I've run here, and your shirt gets soaked, but everything was horrible.
Yeah.
And I would imagine it's the same thing down there running in that, and I would hope that in October it's not quite so bad, but it's always humid at the coast. But I mean,
So do you allow yourself? Well, you don't allow yourself, but if you don't run as good a time as you did at district because of the climate, do you expect to run a little slower because of the
Yeah, for sure.
climate?
Yeah, I feel like just
I
during
mean,
the race.
I know you wouldn't be happy with it, but would you say, you know what, that was the best I could do in this in this situation?
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine it's just I laid it all out there. At the end of the day, y'all keep your journals like it's one of those, did I run the best that I could run, yes or no, and chalk it up to, I ran the best I could. This is what it was.
Your best of that day is important. Like,
right.
My best of today might not be my best of my life.
Right. No, that makes sense. Well, good luck moving on. We'll see you in the years to come, hopefully. We have one more young man with us here. And if you'll tell us your name, your year in school.
I'm Ethan McCulloch, and I am a senior.
And so have you been running since you were a freshman with Medina Valley, or no?
I've been running since 6th grade.
Since 6th grade, okay.
I started training with the high school, and when my brother was a freshman, and so that kind of elevated a little bit.
And what's these girls all said they want to run sub 20. What's your goal? What do you?
Sub 17, late 16s.
Okay. And what would win like district? What kind of time would win district in the men's division, guys division?
1540, I would
wow.
say.
What is your personal best right now?
My personal best as of right now is a 17:29. That was of last year.
And tell us about your experience running in the heat. How do you like it?
I find it to be an enjoyable hell. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
That might be the best answer yet.
I gotta remember that.
Yeah.
Because I'm out there running. I'm like, yeah, it hurts, but when I'm done, it's like, I feel like I did something that like most people wouldn't.
Yeah, do y'all feel like running in this kind of atmosphere makes you stronger later on?
Yeah.
Like especially, I know the whole state's hot, but you're going to run, hopefully when you get into regionals and if you get to state, against teams that aren't in this kind of humidity and stuff. So I would imagine you feel like you have some kind of an edge over them.
Exactly.
It's like, I went through hell through this. They didn't, I can do it. I would imagine that's a mentality thing, And the coaches were talking about how it's a lot of mental running. So when you're not running your, hitting your goals, how do you keep saying, I'm going to get there? Like, how does that affect you as a runner?
It's just the constant ideology that be better every day, You might hurt, but it's gonna.
So what kind of, I know everyone's got different injuries when they run, but what kind of aches and pains do you go through when you're running? Is it shins? Is it feet?
I've been tanked a couple seasons due to my knees.
Okay.
I have this knee condition where there's like an inch of extra bone in my knee for some reason.
Huh.
So sometimes it's a pain to run, but I'm over that.
You just kind of deal with it?
Deal with it.
Yeah. I know that sometimes when I start hurting after about a mile, it kind of goes away. Does that kind of happen with y'all? It's like, if I can make it through this, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Because for my entire race, I have it fast until it goes off, and then after that, I just go on all after that.
And so, do y'all put a lot of stock in your? I mean, I know y'all do, but do y'all put more stock in your times or in your how I finished? You know what I mean? Like I finished. Let's say you finished third, but your time was slow. So what are you more happy with? Are you more happy that you finished where you did, or are you not happy with how you ran?
I'm a time guy. Like if I notice the time's horrible, I'm not gonna like that race at all. But if I time good, then
because you're sitting there going, well, I can run this, and if I'd have done that, I could have won the whole meet. I would, yeah.
Precisely.
There you go. Okay. So, with as hot as it is and the hydration that y'all do, how much water and stuff do y'all have a goal of I need to drink X amount of ounces of water a day?
Not really. It's just getting down water every chance you can get. It's just instead of drinking that Coke or something, it's just a bottle of water every single time.
Okay.
What does your weekend consist of away from the track practice during school?
Mine consists of stretching, primarily stretching. So during the weekends, I'm not exactly running, but I'm doing a couple just warm up laps just to make sure my body's feeling fluid and nice with the motion. I'm stretching my muscles, taking relaxing showers, massaging, etc.
So we didn't ask any of y'all about that. In stretching's one of the things that people forget about the most. I'm bad about that. I don't like to stretch. How how important is it to y'all to stretch before you run and after you run?
Very. It's like it's noticeable, like within the first couple of like feet of running the 5K when you know you didn't stretch enough.
Yeah.
Because you could feel your quad or your calf just cramp immediately, and it's just, there goes my race. I didn't stretch enough. And if you don't stretch after, you just cramp.
So like how many minutes of stretching would you do before you run? Like what's average? 10, 15 minutes?
15, 20 minutes for.
And afterwards, do y'all use like heat compresses, ice? What do y'all do?
Shakeout run with a massage gun. It feels it nicely.
So you run more after you run. So you don't like walk afterwards to like slow yourself down. Y'all jog and stuff and still run more. Okay.
Basically, yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. What's the first thing after you finish everything and your warm down runs and everything? What's the first thing that you need after a race is over?
Cool down run and water.
Somebody to wake me up if I pass out.
A cool down run and water. So, like, I would imagine you'd put everything out there. You're like, I am done. You don't stop. Like, I'd stop and be like, I'm done. How do you not do that? Like, how do you tell yourself, like, I just put myself through this hell. I'm gonna keep going. You know. I mean, that's a mental thing. But just tell me how you do that. You know.
So I've been a victim of not exactly doing a cool down after it, and it hurt a lot more than the actual race.
Okay, like the next day, or you're talking about sore or just like physical pain?
It's just pain.
Okay.
Like you could just feel it, and you just don't want to get out of bed. Sometimes like I wasn't able to for like 30 minutes.
Like y'all ever get up and like you put your feet on the ground, you're just like, oh no, like I'm dead. No.
Yeah.
Like you like limp down the hallway a little bit. Yeah.
I didn't hear her when you asked that question. What do you do afterwards? She said, somebody to wake me up when I pass out after the race.
Oh yeah, because you said you passed out after.
Passing out has been like
Oh. Well, it's okay because no one heard that because she doesn't have a microphone. We won't repeat that. But
it's not new to me anymore. I'm used to it.
Okay.
Everybody on the team is used to it.
So how do you keep running knowing that happens? Like that doesn't scare you? Hold on, let's give her a microphone here. Sorry, we'll come back. But that's interesting because how do you? Does that not scare you?
No.
Passing out after a race?
No, it doesn't scare me.
And so it's like, this is normal.
It makes me want to keep on going more.
Really?
Yeah.
But you've never passed out during?
No,
it's always after.
I always finish the race. And then like at McNeil last year, I know I passed out. I had to get all these bags of ice on me. My heart rate resting was like 190. It was pretty bad. It was kind of hot. It was really hot at McNeil. And then after that, I just collapsed to the floor and just.
So, could it be anxiety? Maybe.
No, that's like a heat stroke. No? That's like a heat stroke almost, right? I mean, if your heart rate's doing that. So, like when you guys run, what's an average heart rate for y'all during a run?
Like 180.
Okay.
Danger zone for me is like 210.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything 200's not good.
Each person's different in that based on their height, weight, and all that kind of stuff. But
so I better not push 130.
If yours goes over 150, Mar, you're done.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you better lay down.
This way, I don't plan on running any competitive races anytime soon either.
I want to see y'all do a 5K.
5K.
I do that. I did one Saturday at the school for St. Louis.
Next is half marathon.
Half marathon.
Half marathon.
So I'm doing a Beast Spartan race in October, which is 13.1, but I will not run the whole thing. And I'm just like this is the first year I'm going to do the whole trifecta. I did the 5K and the super already, and then that's the last one. And my wife is due with our second baby like 2 weeks after that. She's afraid she's going to go into labor while I'm in Dallas at that race. It terrifies her. And she's like, what happens if that happens? I was like, just call my dad. He'll be with me. Someone will find me. I was like, I'm going to finish the race and come back.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to quit. Like,
yeah,
I already paid the money. I'm already putting myself through that. I'm going to finish it. But, so I'll do that. But, no, I've never run a half marathon just to run. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I'd finish that. I think my body would fall apart. My legs would. So we'll see. But no, I like to run.
That's good. That's a really good trait to have. Like, if you just love to run, it's not only like it's very healthy for you, but it's also healthy for like your mind.
Yeah, I do it because it clears my head. Like, I stop thinking about work and all the other things that I have
And
to
your
do.
wife?
No. But it's one of the only times it's like a me time. You know, once you have kids and stuff, you're never alone. So that's like your alone time. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Even though you want to, sometimes you're like, why am I doing this? Like, you start, you're like, why? But I'm sure y'all will feel that one. Let's go back down here because we didn't finish his interview. So you're a senior.
Yes, sir.
What are your plans for after high school?
I'm gonna listen to Marines.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you for serving our country. That's awesome. And is there like a certain, what do you want to go towards in the Marines? Like,
Artillery.
Is there artillery? Okay, cool. What else? Anything from you guys? Nope. Well, good luck on the season coming up. Good luck in the Marines, and we look forward to hearing from all of y'all again in the future.
So what is that website you go to see what y'all run?
Milesplit.com.
Milesplit.com.
So before the end of the year, I'm going to see a 15 and a lot of 19s and a 15.
Well, yeah, and so y'all have a meet coming up this week at home.
Yes, sir. Saturday.
Before we go, tell each one of y'all, just tell me what that means, like running at home, like how.
Oh, it's such an advantage. Like, the mentality is just so much different because I could be at the 1 mile mark and I'm already knowing I'm already almost done because everything else isn't like that bad anymore.
So the hardest part of y'all's course at home is like the first mile.
Oh no,
like,
not at all. It's just the mentality I have.
I got you. I got you.
I've already done this. All I have left is this. That's easy for me. So it's just like I don't know. I just have that for some reason.
Yeah, and so let's move down and just tell us like what running. So this is going to be your first high school home meet. What does that kind of mean to you?
It's just really exciting, and I mean, it means a lot just to run on my course and just run at my home. And
Do any of y'all feel an added pressure being that it's at home? Like, we run this course all the time, so we should do well? Like, is there that thought?
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
You tell us yours.
Yeah, our home course, Coach Schott loves to invite really big schools, so it's definitely a lot of pressure. But it feels nice because you know these hills. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into this course, and so you're representing your school and your team. And when you're dead, I'm a puker, so when I'm dead puking while I'm running, I know I only have this much left. Only got this turn left. Which is a huge advantage.
You go on the course?
Yes.
While you're running?
Yes.
It doesn't slow you down? You just
slows the other people down. They don't like to get it on them.
Do you if there's someone next to you, just turn and be like, yeah, do you really? Did they start throwing up then?
She's thrown up on me before.
And did you throw up in return?
No, I just.
Because I might.
I was just joking.
So tell us about running. You've run these races at your home course last year.
Yes.
So what is different doing it this year now that you're a senior?
So this year I won't be competing. Well, this meet I will not be competing.
Injury?
Yes.
Okay.
I suffered an injury from Floresville. It was the hills. I didn't go up them right. But I will be there to support my girls always. I love supporting. I love watching. I would love to compete, but I don't want to hurt myself even more. The big race for me is district and then region.
Cool.
So I don't want to be out.
Yeah.
But our coaches love to repeat that we dream of our course. We should know it backwards, forwards, horizontally, vertically, any way that we.
Have y'all ever run your course backwards?
Yes.
Is it harder or easier?
It's easier.
It's easier to run it backwards?
We go downhill.
Oh, okay. So you go uphill going the right way.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, how much elevation gain are we talking about? 4 feet? 4 feet, that's not much. It's like up and down.
We just run it.
Okay, that's cool.
We just have a lot of advantages because we know what the hills are like. We go up them every day. We know the little holes that are in our course, so we know what to avoid, but we don't tell anybody else.
Well, you should.
You can also, well, I ain't going to say like sabotage, dig a hole on this side, this or that.
Technically, yeah, we could.
Technically, yes. Yes, we can.
Okay.
And so your last home meet, tell us about what that means to you.
Well, for me, I just want to put out the best time that I can for my personal PR. My fastest time, I don't think it was at our home turf. It was but my fastest time is 16 minutes and 33 seconds. But I've never been able to hit those times again. But this year, I'm gonna try and strive for that, whether it's gonna be on our course or someone else's course.
Well, and I would imagine your times change based on, some courses are more uphill, some are down. You're gonna run faster probably on the downhill courses than you will on some of them. So I imagine a lot of that depends on the course,
right,
as to your times, and you just kind of have to look at the overall, what did everyone do here and how did I fare, I would imagine, in a way. But good luck to all of y'all.
Absolutely.
This year, it's great to have y'all on here. We always enjoy y'all. They're really good interviews all the time with y'all. And so thank y'all. Good luck. And for the seniors, good luck to y'all moving on. And for y'all, hopefully we'll see you two back here in the future. And we're going to take a break and then come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue in a moment.
Dodson House Moving and Construction is a fourth-generation company operated by the same family for over 75 years. We do turnkey work from moving your structure, setting the foundation, and all your construction needs. Aluminum decking, concrete work, canopies, and any other need to make your project operational. From moving to construction, large or small, Dodson House Moving and Construction does it all. Southwest Loop 410 in San Antonio. Give us a call at 210-628-1459.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney by Design for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you. Sammy's Restaurant and Havy's Alsatian Bakery, two legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Havy's Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Havy's Alsatian Bakery, online at havysbakery.com.
Bush's Chicken, one of the oldest locations in Castroville, is proud to serve the Medina Valley area. Bush's Chicken has one goal: be the best. Bush's Chicken knows its success comes from loyal customers in the communities they serve. Stop by Bush's Chicken on Tuesday and get the Tender Tuesday deal, or try their buffalo fries and ask about their Panther special. It's always a hit. Bush's Chicken, 935 Highway 90 East in Castroville. Call them at 830-538-2800.
Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tondre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notices.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper, brought to you by Dotson's House Moving, and I also want to thank Sammy's Restaurant for allowing us to broadcast these shows here again this year. They've been great to us since the beginning of doing Sports for Supper. And
we're actually looking for other locations too. If anybody else is interested in hosting a show, just give us a shout.
And yeah, absolutely. And we enjoy doing these live shows, and COVID kind of put a damper on having a crowd here, but we're starting to see more people show up again during the show. So, if you want to come out and see it live here, eat, have dinner, whatever, you can do that.
And what Sammy's does do for the athletes that show up here, they furnish nachos and drink for them. So that's good for the young ladies and men that come and join us during the show.
And so to kind of wrap things up this week, we have the first football game coming up on Friday night. That game is at Panther Stadium against Kerrville-Tivy. It's a 7 o'clock start. We'll be on the air around 6:20 with the pregame. We will have video again this year throughout the regular season, and then depending on the rights thing in the playoffs like we've had to deal with, but we will have video broadcast throughout the season. We will be live for all of the games this year, and then I know we will be starting volleyball probably around district time, I would imagine.
I think we talked about September, first week of September.
I don't remember the exact
Yeah, it's a Tuesday night game.
Something around September 6th or something like
Yeah,
that.
there's a Tuesday night game, and I think it's Floresville coming to town. So I think the Floresville game will be the first one that and right now we don't have a record. I don't know, Marcus, did you look up the record? We don't have a record, but I know they've competed in a couple of tournaments so far, so we're looking forward to getting volleyball kicked off. And also you were mentioning, Jared, about the UIL and how they handle the playoffs, which we're still under that umbrella, so we'll apply to do playoff games, but there's no guarantee that we'll get the playoff games.
Right. We will do an audio broadcast for sure, but, it all depends on who they give the rights to as far as the
video broadcast. And so we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a good year.
And so we'll talk a little bit about, we didn't have Coach Britt on tonight, and usually we have football on, but they had to practice at Harlan High School because the rain, the practice field was not in good shape.
It was a muddy mess.
Yep. And so they weren't able to make it back here, but we will have Coach Britt on hopefully next week.
And he wanted to come in on cell phone, but they have decals for dads going on, and I told them just, take care of that.
If you've sat in here with a cell phone and tried to get reception, it's not
real great.
Either,
so he said he will make it up to us next week. He'll be here next week. We'll have football, and we'll have another secondary sport of some sort.
And maybe the superintendent at some point, because we need the state of the district. We get that every year at some point. And also, we didn't have Coach Britt here to talk about the football team, but from the two scrimmages that we've seen, they look pretty good. There's some changes that have been made to, the team. I've seen and heard that there's a lot more discipline within the team than what they had last year, and it looks like it's going in the right direction. We'll see what happens on Friday night.
Well, Lockhart is supposed to, that's who we scrimmaged last Thursday. They are supposed to be ranked 4th in that region up there that they're in, and in the timed scrimmage, the timed quarter, we outscored them 2-1, and then during the regular scrimmage we outscored them 2-1. And from what we gathered is the coaches, the most that they were excited about is that we wore them down with the way we're conditioned this year.
Yep. We weren't the ones being wore down.
That is their goal.
I heard a lot of the positives as well, Maury, and the one thing that I was cautious of, though, was that the quarterback from Lockhart, who's supposed to be really good, didn't play much.
No.
And our running back, Anthony Guerrero, who is supposed to be pretty good, didn't play much. So you kind of,
I can't blame either side.
Absolutely right. We said that at the first scrimmage Friday night, Guerrero didn't even suit out. We were like, probably not a bad idea.
No
reason for him to get out there and get hurt in one of these scrimmages. But yeah, we're looking forward to seeing the whole 22 out there on the field.
Not that you don't want anyone
right? Absolutely.
But and you think about it too. There's a lot of players coming back from last year. You've got your quarterbacks are young still. They're coming back. I know Michael Newton was injured last year, and I think with Xavier Gonzalez, he's going to be back. He was a freshman.
Battling for the starting job.
Yeah. They both, Jared, have put on
some weight,
and some pounds, and they both look good.
They both threw the ball well in the first scrimmage. They both, looked like they held themselves well. They both ran the ball well. I like the little option deal that they're running out of the offense that they're running now. So get some of that speed on the edge, and that one kid is lightning quick.
Carter
Hewitt, and we've got a breakaway threat. So they're gonna talked about getting him the ball in space and try to let him make some stuff happen.
Well, so you got your two starting receivers that did a lot of the catches besides Carter.
They're
Willis and.
And I wrote if anybody's interested, I did write a preview article that's be in the Hondo paper tomorrow. It'll be coming
Thursday,
out. Yep, it'll be out tomorrow. It'll be in the Castroville Anvil, or it's in the Hondo Anvil, but it'll be the countywide preview edition. And I did put a little article in there for this season and how excited we are about all this. And I did say in there that this is a community that is very hungry for some football wins, not only in the regular season, but a playoff, and it's been a long time. It's been a drought.
It has been a drought, and they're coming off a 70-7 beatdown.
Probably the worst loss in Medina Valley history.
Yeah.
So to look at the positives going forward, get in the playoffs, don't finish fourth, don't finish third. Try to get one of those top 2 seeds and get in there and have a game that you can legitimately win in that first round.
So I'm pushing for that home game. For the sheer fact that because Shannon's due date is November 12th, if it is down in Corpus, I'm not going.
Yeah.
So if it's at home, I want to be there for it. So I'm hoping it's 1 and 2 so that I can go.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
But no, we're looking forward to the season. We're looking forward to Friday night. You can tune in on YouTube. Medina Valley Broadcast Network will be on live at 6:20. It's a 7 o'clock first kickoff against Kerrville.
Praise the Lord for the rain that we have been receiving.
We needed it.
Might not rain for a while, so I'm glad we
get what we can
take what we can get.
And love it.
And
welcome, Marcus.
Yeah, welcome.
Glad to be here. Have my voice on the air more often. Little new to this, so I will try my best to get more questions out there. No play-by-play. Hope to do good.
You'll do just
fine.
Appreciate that, guys.
And
confidence.
Any last things before we sign off for the day?
No, welcome back, guys.
Yep. Another season. Looking forward to it. And
excited.
Hopefully next Wednesday we'll be here with some good news and good talk and good football, and we'll be able to spend some time with Coach Britt and some of the players.
And have a good report from
That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
Cross-country team winning the match here, the meet here at Medina Valley Saturday.
And so join us on Wednesday nights for Sports for Supper. We'll keep you up to date on what's going on in Medina Valley Athletics. We'll be having volleyball live games starting in September. We'll be on every Friday night with Panther football. And then moving into spring next year, we'll have basketball and baseball, softball on again.
Yeah, we'll try to do a soccer game too, maybe 1 or 2 soccer games.
I know anything about soccer? Yeah, I do. I watch it every week.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
There you go.
He's La Liga.
No, Premier League. I watch Premier League soccer.
Okay.
I'm a paying Liverpool supporter, seriously.
Oh,
that's your problem. I got a card and everything.
Oh, boy. Okay, so we got somebody that can do soccer.
Yep, no, I enjoy it. But